Hi, welcome to Kentucky Farm Bureau's Bluegrass and Backroads. I'm Bob Schrader.
And I'm Matt Hilton.
Matt, have you ever been behind the wheel of a shiny new Corvette?
Well, I used to have a go-kart that looked like one.
Not the same thing, Matt. Well, today we're headed to the National Corvette Museum and also visit the manufacturing plant. And finally, we're going to see how that famous Laughing Cow cheese is made at the Bell Cheese facility in Litchfield. We'll have all those stories and more
as you travel with us on Kentucky Farm Bureau's Bluegrass and Backroads.
Working, yeah, wishing. Yes, I'm waiting for the evening on a beautiful day. Waiting on sleep, come carry me away. Waiting on tomorrow, come what may. Waking up alive on a beautiful day. Waking up alive on a beautiful day. Waking up alive on a beautiful day. Waking up alive on a beautiful day.
Since 1953, the Corvette has been America's sports car. No other car has captured the imagination of American car owners. Corvette owners have a kindred spirit of ownership, making the National Corvette Museum their mecca to come home to.
There was a group of Corvette enthusiasts that was mainly associated with the National Corvette Restorer Society that thought there should be a museum to be a central collection point for all of the materials, literature, dealer brochures that a lot of different people had, but they thought it should all be combined in one place, and that be a Corvette museum. And in 1988, Corvette enthusiasts actually started a nonprofit 501c3 foundation to serve as the National Corvette Museum Foundation and to also serve as that repository for the information. And one of the members of that organization indicated that if you build a museum, I will donate you my 1953. So then they start thinking, well, we needed to have, in addition to a collection point, library archives, we need to also have a display area for Corvettes. So it was totally Corvette enthusiasts, Corvette owners that was responsible for the idea and then responsible for making it happen.
Today's actually the second day of the C5, C6 Bash. We come as an annual thing just because we love the museum and everything it stands for. What I think is special about a Corvette is the styling, the performance, the way it handles, the heritage. It's just got a lot of history behind them.
It's an American icon. Cars first started in 1953 and they went through generations of car lovers, and it's still the American dream to own a Corvette. What they've done here in Bowling Green, obviously because the plant is here, but they've also built this museum, and in the last couple of years they've really added on to it. It's added a great deal for the people that owns Corvettes, or not even Corvette owners, that can come here and review what's inside, walk through the museum, see how the Corvette started in the early 50s and walk through to today. You can get the feel of what they've accomplished, and the museum is great.
Obviously, as you figure out, be the worst part of your tour, having to listen to me. So, first off, I'd like to welcome you guys and gals to the National Corvette Museum. Tell you a little bit about the museum. We opened Labor Day weekend of 1994, so a little over 15 years old. We are a non-profit organization.
The museum is supported by the admissions revenue. We have a Corvette store here that's very successful. A great revenue source for us. Events like we have going on this weekend really is a good revenue source for us. We do about 25 Corvette raffles a year different amounts, so that's a major revenue source for us as well. All of our raffles are online at the Corvette Museum website, www.corvettemuseum.org, and probably about 80% of our raffle tickets are sold through the website and online. Well, the bricks were an idea by some of this earlier group, and it was to kind of serve two purposes. One is a revenue generator, but also as a memorial type area, both for friends that may have been passing on, but also for folks that are active in the Corvette community. They can have a permanent area with that brick that's going to be here forever and outlive them, and be a statement to the world that, hey, I'm part of this National Corvette Museum. Last year we had 146,000 plus visitors. We will generally have around 60 countries that will visit the Corvette Museum in a year, and all 50 states. So pretty international, and then certainly, of course, widespread across the United States. I think the original design team had some influence, and maybe some significant influence, by some of the Corvette designers, particularly John Cafaro, who designed the C5 Corvette. The Corvette car itself is designed differently, uniquely, where you readily identify. They wanted a building that when people did see it, pictures of it wherever, that's the Corvette Museum in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Our next major project for the future is a motorsports park. We have purchased 70 acres across the interstate, and we have an option on another 400, and we're looking to have a 4-mile road course, a quarter-of-a-mile drag strip, a 10-acre autocross skid pad area, and a mile karting track, along with several improvements, tower, classrooms, etc. like that. Our focus will be on education and driver training, and of course a place to exercise Corvettes, but also other models. It'll not be limited to Corvettes, but we're working on that. We're looking for funding on that. We're looking for sponsorships on that, but we're hoping to break ground on that in the next couple of years, and have it a reality in the next, say, 3 years. When I'm asked what year is my favorite, I always say that the current year, the one that's coming off the line at the Corvette assembly plant right at this minute.
Well, back in the late 80s, they decided to move manufacturing down here into Bowling Green. Basically, the workforce, some of the incentives from the government to get manufacturing base here in Kentucky. Well, I think it's always been an American icon, but the pure beauty of that, I mean, as you watch behind me here, going down the line, it is a sleek looking machine, and it is the fastest thing on the planet. It's American made, so there are a lot of sports cars, but this is the American sports car. Chevy, apple pie, baseball, Corvette, all of that. And it is the fastest production car made. We've got about 477 people employed right now. We run one shift operation. Currently we're on overtime schedule, a max overtime schedule, which involves 5 10-hour shifts, and then 6 Saturdays sprinkled throughout the year. You can see it in the quality of the workmanship they have, the smiles on their faces. You know, we do about 50,000 people come through here a year on tours, and you can just see how proud these folks are as people look over the line and watch them build it. They are really excited to be a part of this experience. Well, yeah, actually, when I told some of the plant managers that we get 50,000 people in here on an annual basis, they thought, holy cow, that's got to be disruptive. It's anything but that. It's again, it gets back to the pride of the employees on the line building the vehicle. They love to show off what they do to the vehicle, the parts they put on it. You know, we keep the people that are buying the vehicle away from the vehicle because we don't want them getting in the way or getting hurt or anything. But yeah, it's a great experience for both the employees and the person buying the vehicle.
People are very enthusiastic here, I believe, because we really take a lot of pride in building the Corvette. If you're going to work for General Motors and you work at building the Corvettes and you get to interact with the customers one-on-one, I mean, where else can you build a product and interact with the customers right there? Well, the Corvette, as everybody knows, started back in the 50s, and here we are in the new millennium, and the car still exists and is still around. It's a pride of Chevrolet. And I just find a lot of pride. I take a lot of pride in building the Corvette. I mean, we're right across the street from the museum. We get to see Corvettes in Bowling Green every single day. There's something going on every weekend that has to do with the Corvette, and I'm glad, I'm proud to be part of that.
At our current tack time, which is about 6 minutes a tack, which means it takes 6 minutes to get from one spot to the next job station. We build 88 vehicles a day, and it takes about 3 days to get from start to finish. Yeah, we've got a few unique things set up through the museum. You can come in and actually watch your car being built, and we actually have people spend 3 days here in Bowling Green watching their car get built all through the process. You can get a picture book made from the museum. If you can't be here, they'll take pictures of your car being built. And then there's also the museum delivery, where you actually pick up your car from the museum, and they make a whole bunch of hoopla and fanfare about it. It's really a cool experience.
Well, I think Corvette is, since 1981, Corvette has been a really rich part of this community as far as giving back to the community. We do a lot with the United Way here at the Corvette facility. We get a lot of tourism, especially now because our governor just signed into law, I forget what the document number was now, but just signed into law that Corvette is the car of Kentucky.
The best part about my job is watching these cars come off the assembly line every day, interacting with the people that really love to build the car. And just being a part of this whole experience. It's just, I've been here now for going on 7 months, and I've worked in this business for 30 years. It's been the best 7 months of my life. Yeah, well, you know, the assembly plant is one of the major employment centers in Bowling Green. The Bowling Green people just live and breathe Corvette. So it's done a lot, not only the plant being here, but just all the focus from the museum and the plant. It's kind of like a double header. You know, you can go to the museum and do that thing, come over here and do this, and it really has drawn a lot of tourism to this area. For 2011, we've got a couple differences. There's some minor interior stuff, but really the big thing is the fiber car. It's got fiber hood, fiber roof, fiber fenders. It's a combination of a Z06 and a ZR1 for the engine transmission drivetrain. It's actually called a Z07. So that's really the big play for 2011. Well, you know, being a Corvette owner, there is nothing like it. You get behind the wheel, you turn the key, and you hear that roar, and it's just pure power. And you just hang on to that wheel and think, I am going to take this thing down the road. And you always light up the tires because you have to. It's just a great experience. It handles great in the curves, great on the straightaway. You know, the acceleration is unbelievable. There's nothing like it.